Today in cannabis news, advocates in Washington state launch a 2020 ballot initiative for statewide drug decriminalization. New Hampshire state legislators make the first moves towards putting cannabis legalization on the state ballot in 2022. And as a component of a defense bill, the U.S. House might vote on psychedelics and cannabis studies for military veterans and cannabis banking access. It's Friday, September 17th, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California, it's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, in an effort to expand on modest improvements made by the state legislature in its most recent session, a group of drug law reform supporters in Washington state has confirmed that they will attempt to submit a drug decriminalization initiative for the state's 2022 ballot. Commit to Change Washington, the organization supporting the initiative, was once called Treatment First Washington and tried to qualify a decriminalization proposal for the 2020 state ballot. The plan would, at the very least, make the following adjustments according to the group: end treating drug use as a crime and eliminate the worry of incarceration as an obstruction to rehabilitation, dedicate substantial long-term funds to a strategy advised by the actual experience of individuals hurt by the failed war on drugs, and underscore public health methods that are based on the social determinants of health and fulfill the needs of urban and rural populations statewide.
Next up, New Hampshire state legislators have devised a new plan to legalize cannabis statewide, which includes placing a constitutional amendment proposal on the 2022 midterm ballot for voters to determine. In the meantime, legislators are expected to take up separate legalization legislation when they reassemble in early 2022, and activists are optimistic that it will pass given on previous votes in the House. Last year, the House passed a bill legalizing cannabis, but it failed in the Senate panel. If the Senate denies a legalization measure again next year, another option is to put the issue to a vote in the next election. The key aspect of each of the potential constitutional amendments that legislators want to be developed are as follows: outlawing the state from enacting legislation restricting usage, sales, or production of cannabis by people over the age of 18 years. Ensuring that adults have the legal right to obtain cannabis for private use, and providing that all individuals, according to legislative regulations, have the right to acquire, consume, and produce cannabis.
Last up, legislators in the U.S. House of Representatives have proposed a number of drug law amendments to defense legislation, such as plans to foster studies on the advantages of psychedelics for active duty military members and to safeguard banks that provide operations to state-licensed cannabis firms. Additional amendment proposals, which will be considered by the House Rules Committee next week, would codify that the Department of Veterans Affairs cannot refuse veterans home loan benefits simply because they take a job in the cannabis sector, and would mandate the VA to perform a clinical study into the therapeutic effects of cannabis for veterans suffering from chronic pain and post-traumatic stress disorder. In regards to chronic pain, the study would need to look into the effects of cannabis on neuropathic pain, and also the usage and dosage of opioids, benzodiazepines, and alcohol, along with general health aspects like sleep and anxiety. Researchers studying PTSD would need to look at the effects of cannabis on general symptoms, as well as the use of benzodiazepines.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit trichomes.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Tech and Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation, wherever you get your podcasts. For Trichomes.com, I'm RJ Balde.
And I'm Devin Liao. Have a great day.